And with that, we're coming up on the close here. We want to take a few seconds just to sort of wrap up what might have happened. We're hoping that everybody who watched this cast came away from it thinking, that's really interesting. I actually know how to do that now. You know, I knew that agility was something we needed to get after, but I couldn't quite picture what it looked like in practice or what steps I might take to get there. And I now know at least the first couple of things to do. And in addition, a couple of people who seem to have figured at least some portion of this out to whom I can reach out if I have questions. And maybe that's the incredible volunteer claw staff we've seen all today. Maybe it's Colonel Shelton, Lieutenant Colonel Spangenberg, and Lieutenant Colonel Henry, who are modeling what leadership looks like in that arena, and so generously contributed their time and insight and perspective. And maybe it's panelists like Commander John Hasse or Captain Adrian Felder or Major Steve Harvey. We've been given a lot to chew over, not in a hypothetical perspective, but in a historical perspective. This is what's working. This is what has worked. And if we're called upon, each of us, to be agile, to pursue agility, to shape it and make it possible for others, we now know at least the first set of things that we can do to get after it. And that puts us in a better position than we were in before, even if our circumstances are changing rapidly and seem to offer certain kinds of adversity around us. Gage, do you want to top things off here?
Yeah, so thanks, John. I guess I'll leave us with a quote. I try to take a quote from each of these webinars, and please tune in to future webinars. Each one so far has nearly produced something I would tattoo on my body for reference of how important I see these quotes. But today, the quote of the webinar, I'll call it, was from Lieutenant Colonel Spangenberg, and it was, "Every task should fight for its life." You can't get a more agile quote than that, and that really applies across the board to leaders everywhere. And that's all we really have, folks.
Thank you all so much for being here today. I would be negligent if I didn't mention that an incredible number of people have been putting in an incredible amount of work in the background here. One of them is Roy Nanku, who just jumped on, without whom none of this would be possible. Another is my deputy, but really my second half and probably my better half at the Centers for Adaptive Warfighting, Gunnery Sergeant Brandon Smart, through whom a substantial portion of all blessings are made manifest in the Marine Corps, in the Navy, and in the department. Brandon, thank you for opening up your screen there. Everybody, that's one of the hardest working Marines in the fleet. And the same can be said of Roy here, who's been killing it for us, but also for Whitney Tallarico and for Saul Gomez, and for all the people you can see on the screen here who contributed to this conversation and to the practices, the hard work that made this conversation possible and will continue to do so in the future. You all are champions, and we're incredibly proud to be in the fight with you. Roy, Brandon, anything you want to say to put the cherry on the sundae here?
Absolutely. Jump on our social media. We are all over social media. We're building our YouTube video with NavalX playlists of these webinars right here. Also some curative instructions, especially with us being in the COVID environment right now. So we're on LinkedIn. Find us, the Centers for Adaptive Warfighting, as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel, Centers for Adaptive Warfighting as well.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for your time, and we look forward to seeing you on the battlefield now.